Hey, 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 y'all see the snowflakes? Y'all see it. Listen, this is about as close to snow as I'm gonna get, okay? And I was on let me put some baby oil on. I was on Coffee Talk and Tech, his live stream last night. And with Miss StreamYard, okay? Not doing it. So, if you're just tuning in, I am Melissa Berrien, your host of Real Talk with Melissa Berrien. You saw the snowflakes. I am nowhere near snowflakes. The sun is finally shining. It's still a little cool. It's a lot of cool here. Okay. I don't know what's going on in these United States. As a matter of fact, shouts out to those of you that are in the Midwest region. Take cover if you need to. Please pay attention because I know Nebraska, they're already reporting tornadoes. Said that they're headed towards Illinois, Missouri, that whole corridor. So absolutely prayers for safety in that area. Y'all be careful. But like I said, these snowflakes that I'm playing with absolutely positively are fake as fake can be. And it's about as close as I'm gonna get until I drive up to Flagstaff to experience some snow. So how y'all doing? You read from the title what we're doing today. I have a few topics that I want to just pose a question to. Let me turn that off. That I want to pose a question to because a lot of people are debating it. And so I know there were a few of the hot topics that I covered that we were really digging and getting into. So that's what we're doing to get today. So if you are less inclined to cam up or to get in the camera, you don't have to. You can stay in the chat and talk about it in the chat. But if you're the type where you like, of course I'll cam up, I'll talk about it, or of course I'll call in. Absolutely come join the show. Of course, the rules of thumb or the rule, let me copy it and put it in the chat. No profanity, please, unless extremities. Sometimes it's called for. So go ahead and drop it if you need to. But anyway, I just dropped the link. You guys have no idea what some of the topics are. Some of them are very silly and unimportant, and some of them are going to be very, very serious. So let's jump right into it. I dropped the link. And until you guys come on or until you guys are chatting in the chat to answer, I'm going to just be talking to myself. Okay. And putting my own opinion about it. So let's see what the first thing is. Let me see what the first thing. The first thing is the obvious one. We talked about it a little bit, but I'm going to give the floor, especially hopefully Trash Can Waves will come in and give his little point of view because he had some things to say. Well, the first topic of debate, point blank, period. Here's a little boy. He's playing with the little kitchen set. Is it okay, or do you allow children, or do you think little boys should be allowed to play with kitchen sets? All right. All right. That's the first one. All right, that's the first one. Well, you guys know from what I said earlier, I think that there's nothing wrong with it. I think that this is stemmed from a lot of stereotypes and a lot of myths about homosexuality and exposing children to certain things. I think that it's important for boys to learn how to cook, do kitchen womanly duties just as much and just as important for the boy to do it as it is for the females to do it. So absolutely. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. I think that when you speak to a lot of people that are dating, a lot of people that are married, a lot of women and a lot of men have a problem with the fact that, you know what? If my wife goes away, if my wife has a surgery or if she has a baby, I don't know my way around the kitchen. I don't know my way around the washing machine and dryer. Thank God that's not the case here, as in my household. Okay. Um, there were some comments, I saw a funny answer today. Somebody said, why are you so afraid that your son playing with a kitchen set is going to turn him gay? He said, y'all played Monopoly, none of y'all own property. I thought that was hilarious. because it's a great analogy. You know, it's the same thing. Just because you're going to grow up playing Monopoly don't mean that you're going to ace everything in owning all the property and everything like that. Doesn't mean the same thing. It's important for young men to know how to cook. It's important for them to know how to clean and keep house and stuff like that. That doesn't mean that they're going to grow up doing those things, but trust me, it would be a blessing to know that he knows how to do it and help out his mate. So Pamela says, they should learn how to cook and clean, point blank, period. And it's the other way around. I want my daughters to know how to change a tire. Now, that doesn't mean that trust me, we don't even fill up gas around here. Thank you, Papa, if you're listening. The females don't even fill up gas, our tanks. When I have to, you know, if I'm like traveling or something like that and I have to do it, I'm like lost. I know how to do it, of course, but I'd be so mad that I have to do it. But I love the fact that he does that. He keeps the car clean and all of that. But that doesn't mean that I don't know how to do those things. So, like I said, if you're just peeking in, you're trying to figure out what we're doing, we're just debating a bunch of things. And this is the first one. I'm going easy, taking it slow, and then we just going to take off from here. But anyway, I absolutely think that the little boys should be allowed to play with the kitchen sets. They, you know, and like I said, we naming the Emerald Lagasse's, the Darius Cooks, and the countless other male chefs, the Richards. You guys probably don't know Chef Richard, but I went to high school with him. He is Gabrielle Union's and Dwayne Wade's personal chef. So while you're upset and scared, hey, she made it live. Hey, Laura Melissa, we are welcome, beautiful. We are discussing a whole bunch of things, and I'm just kicking it off right now with the first debate is whether little boys should be allowed to play with kitchen sets. It appears that people are all up in arms about this post, and my vote is absolutely yes. So I'm not going to hold this topic. If you come in and you see this or you're catching a replay, absolutely leave a comment, because you guys know I definitely answer you guys in the comment section when my neighbor's pregnant, when you guys are catching the replay. So yeah, let me know what you think, Melissa. Laura Melissa. Is the little guy allowed to play with the kitchen set? So that's the first thing. I saw something else today, and I was like, okay, this will be another point. Y'all see it. This is a Christmas tree, and this is clothes. Let me read exactly what the post said, okay? The post specifically said, clothes, and pardon the English or the lack thereof, clothes is not a Christmas gift for a kid. And if the gift coming from an outsider, I will accept clothes. But as their parents, I am not buying no clothes, not no gift. That SHIT is weak. Now, I said what I said. Leave a comment down below. What do you think? Is it a big deal? Did you look forward to getting clothes on Christmas? I mean, I thought that was a weird post. I thought it was a weird flex for somebody to be that adamant about. But before we think about that, let me go back to Lauren's answer to the kitchen set, and then we'll go into the other one. She says, yes, parents need to bring more kitchen set, buy more kitchen sets, play lawnmowers, saws, tools, and limit buying electronics. You know what? That is such a good point, because as an early childhood educator, I can tell you that we can definitely see the difference between the children that were raised playing with play sets and kitchen sets and mowers and all of that versus those that are on those electronics. The imagination is not there, the creativity is not there, and the self-help skills are not there at all. A lot of these early childhood moments when they are in the kitchen playing around, they're learning how to button, they're learning how to scoop and pour and open different things. I've had kids in kindergarten where they need help opening up stuff that they should already know how to open. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes a little bag of chips, stump me. Okay, not a bag of chips, but y'all know what I'm saying. So I'm going to give the little kid a little pass for that. But there are some definite self-help and some gross and fine motor skills that the kids are developing when they're playing with these kitchen sets, let alone the emotional and social aspects of this. So I agree with you 100%. Trade jobs and tech jobs are rising. So I don't see anything wrong with it. You're absolutely right on that point too. Trade jobs, tech jobs, I think that they're rising. I think there's always been a sect of people that already knew because they couldn't afford to go to college. They weren't even going to college. People are like down with college right now. And to be perfectly honest with you, with someone that has student loans and a degree that is dependent on going to college, I encourage my kids, listen, if you don't have to go to college, because listen, I'm not going to say journalism and all of that you won't find that on YouTube or crash courses or master classes. And people are just storming the market as far as mass media, social media, and all of that. Okay. And then getting this degree without a loan. But then you have someone that's why people are mad with content creators. Because here's the thing, we are going viral. We're making waves that people that went to college for 5, 6, 10 years have done. And now here you are coming on the scene because you have the it factor. You're going viral as a journalist, as a commentator, as a social commentator. They're mad. They're hating on us. But this is the wave of the future. Tech is the wave of the future. And these trade jobs, they definitely are the wave of the future. So why not? And we're not even going to get on the fact that, about the fact that let me drop the link again, just in case somebody peeks in. But we're not even going to talk about the fact that how socially and emotionally it helps little boys and little girls. Okay. I remember loving to play with cars. So yeah. Not 10 years for, well, you know what I'm saying, girl. Yes. Whole 10 years. Okay. Listen, failing out. Anyway, Natasha coming for me. She always come for me. Yeah, I saw that about the clothes. LOL. As a kid, getting clothes was a disappointment. I wanted the toys. The only reason why I would want, let's put it like this. I didn't want a buttload of clothes, and I definitely didn't want underwear. But if there was a pair of shoes, let's change the picture. If there was a pair of shoes, i.e., these last Jordans that everybody stood in line for or whatever, I'm pretty sure some kid would be stoked to get that for Christmas. I don't know. But if your kid's sole Christmas is clothes, maybe I can see why the kid would be disappointed with that. Lauren says, however, to each his own. If that's all you can afford is clothes, have at it. But I get it. Clothes is a necessity and a need. Christmas gifts are wants. And you know what? I prefer, if I default to clothes, I'd rather give the person money, because then they can go buy whatever they want, or they can go buy toys. Now when little kids, and like I said, unless it's a hoodie with their Dragon Ball Z or Monsters Inc. or whatever, they don't care nothing about no clothes. Forget about the babies. Babies ain't studying none of that. They want the box. But to your point, Lauren, I do want to preference that if that's all you can afford, if Christmas is the time where you wait and you say, okay, I'm saving up, I'm a single parent, but they need shoes, they need clothes, I'm going to get them clothes. I ain't hating on that at all. Do whatever you have to do. At least they have their basic needs met. But, like you said, if we're just going to debate, and that's what we're doing today, we're just debating a whole bunch of topics, okay? For the sake of the debate, kids don't want clothes. Again, unless it's that one. Okay, perfect example. I'm about to tell on myself, my little age, because I'm probably older than most of you guys. Well, some of you. I see some of y'all in the chat. Perfect example. 1986, 87, 83, 1980s. Michael Jackson jacket. Y'all know y'all wanted that for Christmas, okay? Some people were fortunate enough to get that before Christmas, to get the leather and the pleather pants. Absolutely, I remember wanting that jacket. Remember the Wham graphic shirts? This was the, wow, and such and such says, or whatever. Again, I'm telling my age. But those of you that understand what I'm talking about, leave a 1 in the comment section. Y'all know the 80s were known for the clothes. And, it was so much that was going on. I could see what parents were like, you know what, you could get that for Christmas. The bangles, the Madonna bracelets, and the tulle skirts, and you might say, you know what, a little girl don't want no scrunchies. But listen, thinking back to it, getting you some neon scrunchies and the scrunchy socks, okay, yeah, give them to Christmas. Give them for Christmas. But again, those are specialty specific. I don't know what would be specific. Okay, today's kids probably would want some Yeezys. Some kids nowadays probably want some Tims, a graphic tee or a hoodie. But that's just like one thing. They want other stuff too. So let me read your comments. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Bless says, from that tone, that poster had sounds like from the tone that poster had sounds like they're kind of uptight about whether or not their child receives clothes for Christmas. But I believe personally that a gift is a gift. Be grateful. Very, very good point. That's the other part. And another thing we're going to debate in a few minutes is the ungratefulness of people, and the fact that I think that there's a little bit of entitlement complex going on nowadays. I'll let you know what we're talking about in a second. Because another mom has a sense of entitlement. And I'm like, no, ma'am. Now, I'm absolutely team no, ma'am on this next one. Lauren says, hence the phrase, what do you want for Christmas? LOL. Christmas is privilege. Not everyone can celebrate or experience Christmas like most can. You're so true. And that's the truth. Because honestly, some people don't even think about the different movies. And I know this is dramatic. Y'all know I'm very dramatic. So, think about it. Some kids, all they get is a meal. Some people, they get an orange for real, or they get the nuts and cracking nuts and stuff like that. So, yeah. Not 10 years for a journalism degree. Hey, Natasha Vincent, I'm dramatic, girl. I'm going to hyperbolize some stuff, okay? And I'll let you know when I'm being dramatic, like that 10-year journalism degree. Greetings, salutations. Hey, OG Patrice. Hopefully you will join in the conversation. And again, we are just debating a few things. You just missed the debate. I'm starting off a little slow. Okay, then we're going to get the engine going, and then we're going to get to some grown folks stuff. Okay. So welcome. Yeah, shoes are different though. Shoes are very different because I'm down for shoes all the time. And, I even got to the point where I have so many purses and designer purses. I'm like, dude, thank you, but no thank you. But he still buy them. So whatever. Don't know, 8-year-old want a cardigan sweater. Listen, he don't want no cardigan sweater. That's a good point, Melissa. If you're going to get clothes, get them money so they can get what they want. Yes, because here's the thing. As hip as I know that I am, as with it as I know that I am, I do know that kids want to buy what they want to buy. So as hip as I am, as aware of, I think, I am about the social things that's going on, what's in, I still want to get them clothes. Child, take the gift card and go on. But I also think, gift cards about once they turn 18, unless I know exactly, okay, they want this, they want that, money, gift card, whatever, because it's just easier. Unless I've been with them or I hear, we're talking or whatever, and they're like, oh, mom, I want this. Natasha says, by the way, hello, fam, from your Canadian cousin. Hey, cousin. Good to see you, Natasha. So yeah, that's a good debate. You know what? If you're catching the replay and you're like, you know what, Melissa, you and Lauren are tripping. Y'all are way off base. Leave a comment down below. Let us know how we are off base. Again, this is a disclaimer. We're not talking about sad stories. We're not talking about GoFundMe situations. I'm talking about an average, healthy, prosperous. I didn't say overly prosperous or abundant family, but I'm not talking sad story. Okay. So don't come with me about that either. Okay. So sounds like most of us are team no clothes, but sounds like that mother gave us kind of like a bad taste in our mouth about her attitude. Well, here's the thing. Here's another one. Y'all see it. These are the queens, some people's queens. So we have Adele and Beyonce. Okay. Let me read exactly what the tweet said and we will debate. So it says, So my cousin says Adele will outsing Beyonce. Again, hang on. We're gonna get to polygamy and all the grown folk stuff. We revving up. We getting there. So if you're just tuning in, today is debate day. I took a break from the breaking news. As a matter of fact, as I stated when I opened up, I'm itching to get into this breaking news about this weather that's coming through the Midwest right now. If you're in the Midwest, please turn on your news. Make sure you are abreast because y'all are getting tornadoes and storms as south as Nebraska heading on up. But that's not what we're talking about. I took a break. I'll be back tomorrow talking about that. But anyway, also join me tonight on my other channel because I will be doing my makeup and discussing that horrific case of where the man finished himself, the ex-wife and the girlfriend. So I'll be doing that tonight. Right now it's scheduled for 8, but I may be back from the gym a little bit sooner to that, and then we'll be able to talk about it. And I'll be doing my makeup, and I'll tell you why I'll be doing my makeup and talking about that at the same time. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. But anyway, leave a comment. Those of you that are in the room. This is Adele and Beyonce. And again, the text said, my cousin said Adele will sing the bricks off of Beyonce. Better late than never. Hey guys. Hey Shannon, how you doing? Kiss the forehead of Miss Seven for me. Hope you're doing good, little sis. Hope you're doing very well in this holiday season. But anyway, we are debating a few things, and you know, the topic will get a little bit more adultish and grownish as we go on. But right now, we're talking about Adele and Beyonce, and it seems as if the internet is kind of split between Adele singing the bricks off of Beyonce, and I'm gonna just say it point blank. Period. Adele can sing the bricks off of Beyonce. Adele can outsing Beyonce with her eyes closed. Now, here's the thing. Someone said it very well today, because again, these are all things that people are currently debating and that I see. Someone said Adele can sing Halo standing still at the mic, but and Beyonce can sing Hello. But the problem is Adele cannot sing Halo and do the performance and all this other stuff that Beyonce can do. So basically, Beyonce will outperform Adele. But that ain't what we're talking about. I'm here to submit that Adele... Oh, I got a private chat? Who's here? Oh, girl, I ain't see you. I'm sorry. Oh, hey, girl.
Hey, lady. It's me. It's just little OG Patrice.
It's just little old me. Girl, I didn't even see you. I'm so sorry. Thank you for private messaging me, because it usually gives me a boop. It didn't give me anything.
Yeah, I've been back here for a minute. I was like, okay, she talking about, my line of business now with this entertainment and these singers and stuff. Let's send her a little note, because I've been back here for like 15 minutes.
Oh my God. So you've been back here. Let's play a little bit. Let's go backwards for a second. The little boy in the playset, yes or no?
The little boy in the what? I'm sorry.
The playset. Look at the picture up on the screen. Do you think little boys should play with dolls and kitchen sets?
I don't see anything wrong with the kitchen set, because I think that's kind of a form of kind of raising him up to that he can be independent with cooking and things like that, because at some point he's going to be a single man, right?
Right.
So I know in my household with my brothers and me with my son, my mother taught my brothers how to iron, how to cook, and how to sew. Yep. And I taught my son how to iron, how to cook, and how to sew. Right. So yep. I don't see anything wrong with that. The dolls, I have no problem with, as long as they're masculine dolls. That's just me. It's my personal opinion.
I got you.
My son, my brothers grew up off of the Stretch Armstrongs and the G.I. Joes and all of that. Yep. So they played with those male, doll figures or whatever you want to call it. And so did my son doing his generation. So yeah, I see nothing wrong with it.
All right, let's jump back to Beyonce, because the comments are popping. First, let me say, Natasha says these two singers aren't comparable, though. I do understand that. So Before Patrice gives her answer, tell me, Natasha, who you think should be comparable to outsing, or what's a better comparison. But Patrice, let me know what you think.
Okay, coming from entertainment, we look at it as cut and dry, even though they may be in different genres, maybe in different sectors. When it comes to that, we look at overall who is your favorite artist, who is your favorite, whatever. So I don't look at it but I understand it, but I don't look at it the way everybody else. Being
a
an
layman would look at it. You wouldn't look at it the way
exactly.
Exactly. So can Adele sing the bricks off Beyonce?
Absolutely. In my opinion, most people can. It don't take much.
Period.
I mean, listen, I'm not a Beyonce fan in that spectrum. I'm not saying she doesn't have talent. I think she's more of an entertainer than a singer.
Absolutely.
I come from an era where singers were singers, right? Yes. They didn't need auto-tune. They didn't need a bunch of stuff that they use today to help enhance their vocals. So when you're talking about pure singers like your Whitney Houstons, your Celine's, your Mariah's, your Gladys's, your, people like that didn't have auto-tune today to help them sound good. More of a pure singer. If you can entertain someone and they sound genuinely authentic and pure with a vocal ability, like Whitney Houston can stand on a stage without all the hype of the dancers and the props and the lights, and can entertain you and perform at a height and a level, that is a pure D artiste.
For real. Because
it's the difference between an artist and an entertainer.
You're absolutely right. And so Natasha said, what about Adele and Mariah? But I'm not even going to skip to Mariah. We'll get to Mariah in a second. Given your description, now that I'm thinking about it, if I put Adele with Whitney, that would be a powerhouse concert. Like, that would be ridiculous. That would be a hard debate to decide, because they both, to me, are definite singers.
Or Mariah with Whitney, or Mariah with Celine.
Yes. These are singers.
Absolutely.
These are singers. And I think that, and I like Beyonce as a performer. I'm not a super beehiver in the sense where I'm going to be delusional and act like she could sing. And all she can hold a note. She can hold a tune, but I do know that the lights, the costume, the hair, and everything else is
the dancers, the props.
Absolutely. It's an enhancement. I was going to say a distraction, but I'll change it. It's an enhancement for her. Because the truth of the matter is that she had to stand at a mic and just sing. I've said this a long time ago. I don't understand why. I do know why Jennifer Hudson isn't getting all the play as a Beyonce. It's that performance factor. Jennifer can just sit on the stool and sing to me all day long.
Absolutely. Right. The difference. And, when you coming from my era, we know we didn't have all the hype that they have now. You don't have to have much talent in order to be a mega star. It's plenty of people that are in the industry that are prime examples of that. Now, I consider the Beyoncés to be more like the Tina Turners. Not always the best vocal, but hell of an entertainer, right? Let's just be real. James Brown, not the best vocals, but a hell of an entertainer.
Yep, that's true.
So, you have to, I put them in categories like that. I put them in artists versus entertainers.
Yep. So, okay, so who would out-entertain Beyonce these days?
Other than Adele?
Entertain.
Lettucey. Oh, entertain. I thought you said sing, because Lettucey is a singer. Let's see. The only one that I could think of that will give Beyonce some competition if she really had a larger platform, and that's the only thing. She don't have a larger platform, and that would be Janelle Monáe.
You know who else I just thought of? Janelle Monáe. Absolutely, you're right. But what about Tiana Taylor? That girl is sick.
Oh yes, she the truth, and she could sing though.
Yes, she could sing.
She could sing though, not just entertain and dance. She could sing.
So she might be the one that could really be placed next to Adele in because, man, that last concert, this concert that she's doing now, I've been watching the
Yes.
film. I said, "Oh my, okay,
Yeah. And look, she's getting ready to portray Dionne Warwick, right?
yes,
Tiana is. But
yes, she
I
is."
thought, yeah, but when it comes to entertainment versus pure singers, and that's where, you know, the fans get it, you know, because they all caught up in the fandom, you know, the
Yes,
fandom of things,
yep.
and that's totally fine, you know, to each his own with that. But when you're in the entertainment industry, people don't. Okay, I'm gonna tell this story. There was a singer that came out actually before Beyonce, and she was on the road to Beyonce's status.
Okay.
And the so now the same writers and producers that was working for that young lady started working for Beyonce, and the young lady that was going to be the rise of the next platform like that, she got kind of tossed to the wayside, and that's sad to say, but the industry works that way when you have a different kind of machine behind you.
True.
And
It's all
that
about the
girl,
machine.
that girl was A. Marie, and a lot of people don't even know. If
I
you look
love
at
her.
her, yeah,
I
if you
love her.
look at how when she first came out, who reminds you of her? Beyonce.
You're right.
That's because she has the same writers and producers.
Wow.
And she got tossed kind of, you know, to the side because there was a bigger machine behind the Beehive.
You're right. Because
A
I'm
lot of people
still
don't know there's
rocking.
so many things, you know, that they don't know how the entertainment
Yeah.
industry works.
I'm still rocking this one thing. I love, listen, A. Marie, okay. So I agree 100% on that. So let's have some fun on the next one. So that's that. So let me see if I can find it. I was watching, I don't know if you know EJ Speaks, but she did a video today, and I was like, people really be mad at other people minding their business. I mean, just minding your business. She did a video, and apparently people feel like you are lazy or whatever if you hire a freaking housekeeper. And I was like, let me.
Honey, I'm single. Ain't nobody here but me, and I want one.
Okay. I said, well, I guess I'm in a hot seat because there has been seasons where I was like, oh, I need a housekeeper. Let me show you the let me share it with you. Share screen. Yeah, I thought that was weird.
Girl, people is finding any excuse to,
Anything.
you know,
So
to say something negative about people these days.
Yep. Let's listen.
About things that don't come natural. And a lot of people had a lot to say about that.
Wait.
But I don't know why. The response is about
Hold
things
on.
that don't come natural.
There
In
you
my
go.
first apartment, back then I would pay a baser. I'm not going to overstress myself about things that don't come natural. And a lot of people had a lot to say about that. But
yeah, so a lot of people had a lot to say about it. What it says is, I don't care how much money I make, I'm gonna pay someone to clean my house. I've been doing this since I was 18 in my first apartment. Back then, I would pay a baser. I'm not going to overstress myself over things that don't come natural. While y'all here, get your edges back too.
I ain't mad at her.
I ain't mad at it either. So,
honey, look, I had days when I just stand in the middle of my flow and be like, not today.
Yep.
I can't do it. Not today.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. And I have heard this before. My thing is, I would rather a clean house, whether it's the housekeeper, the children, the grandma, whoever coming over to clean it. The house is clean. It doesn't matter. I've had people suggest like, oh, if you don't have any kids at home, or if you like people that don't have kids, why does she need a or if you're a stay-at-home mom, that's lazy. If you're a stay-at-home wife, and that's the least you could do is clean the house. Well, here's the thing. She may not want to. I may not want to. I don't think, listen, leave a comment down below, y'all, that are listening. I'm team clean house by any means necessary. Period.
I'm definitely down for it because I told you it's days that I don't want to do it. I have a lady that is stay a couple of doors down from me, and she actually does it for me when I don't want to do it. So
Right.
hello, so I ain't no way in the world I can not be against it. I just had them days where I don't feel like dusting today. I don't.
Yeah. Especially living here. Okay. You
Okay.
are living here. You got to dust 2 times a week, sometimes 3, depending on what
Exactly.
season it is, and if you got the doors open. And like I said, I've had somebody. I don't have anybody. I'm near about looking for somebody for this house, but we have definitely had someone. My only thing I'm gonna tell you like this. So Natasha says the sooner someone learns effective delegation skills, the better. It frees up your time to do what you're best at. Point blank.
Correct.
Period. That's a really good point.
Correct.
Because and that was what I was going to say. If it's important to you that your kids know how to clean, cook, that type of thing, then of course, now this is what I did when my kids were little and we had the housekeeper. She didn't go clean their rooms. She was not allowed to clean their room. She and I would tell her, and she would be itching to go in there. And I'm like, nope, they need to clean their own room. They need to clean their own make their own beds and stuff like that. But go ahead, give the bathroom a once over, and then they'll maintain it. But do everything else in the house. And so that way that just got the kids used to making their own beds and stuff like that. And learning how to do those things. Now, you know, my kids are grown, and then the younger 2 are 16 years old. They know how to do all of that stuff. Very good at cleaning and keeping their rooms clean. Thank God we don't have problems with that. Of course, it gets to the point with school and everything where they're like, oh, I got to clean my room today. But ultimately speaking, I'm with Natasha. Delegate. You may not be better at that. It's completely okay. Team delegation. Listen.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I could have I can have a at-home business, but if I'm busy with my at-home business, I may not have all time to clean. And a cleaning person might come right in here while I'm in here and clean around me, under me, over me. I ain't got no problem with it.
My mom's lady, she comes in, my mom be like, okay, it's the day. I'ma come over to your house, or I'm gonna meet me out to lunch or whatever. And I don't see, you know what? We've gotten to the point in society, and it may have always been that way, but it's like we have to make an excuse to be who we're going to be. And listen, to the lady that just completely don't feel like doing it or don't want to do it, I want to give people permission to say, you know what, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it, point blank, period. So I'm all for that. And I can't believe that people would even have a reason to have an attitude about it, but they sure did. They had a whole attitude about it. Yep.
But it don't take much these days for people.
It doesn't.
Like I just said on another panel, we're living in a very sensitive society, honey. People get offended by almost anything you say. Now, when I moved here, Melissa, I will be coming and going, and I'm parking in my parking lot, and I saw these 2 cars that said, Maids on the Go. That's the name of their little business, right? Yes. And I said, ooh, I was like, and I slipped my card on their windshield. I said, I would love to have your service. I live here. Here's my number. The lady called me. She said, oh, you right here in the same complex. Yeah. And they come whenever I need it, whether it's once a week, once a month, just, and it's all good.
And this will take us to something else that I just thought of before I get into polygamy. That'll be the next question. But it's the same thing with moms that have nannies. I've never had a nanny, but I've never frowned upon anyone that needed a nanny or wanted a nanny. Because here's the thing, whether it's cleaning your house, caring for your house, cooking, listen, I need a personal chef right now to keep me on task. Shoot, man. But my son is a trained chef, and I keep telling him I will pay you, but he's like, no, don't want to do it. I don't have a problem with somebody if they need a nanny or want a nanny, and she a whole stay-at-home mom, not even a working mom. It's okay.
Because listen, let's be real. Being a mother is hard. Full-time hard job to do. And listen, let's be real about this. Every mother is not that natural. We're not naturally cut out to be those type of groomers and nourishers. Some women have to learn that, just like they learn anything else. Some women, they naturals at it, and some they are not, and that's okay. And if they need a little help and tell their husband, hey babe, I'm overwhelmed, I need a little help. Can I have a little help 2 or 3 times a week, once a week, whatever? Nothing wrong with that.
Yep, I think so too, because that's what I would rather somebody have a nanny and learn whatever it is that they should learn, feel like they should learn or whatever, and not harm the kid, or the kid be neglected in a way, don't have dinner or whatever.
Absolutely.
Then trying to have pride. I always say that, the way my brain thinks, I always think about these kids that unfortunately lives are taken very early because of these moms that are stressed out, or because of the moms that are trying to go to the job interview. And I say, what if that person just went next door and just said, listen, I can't take it, I need a moment. I know for me, I said this on my live, I know for me, I'd watch that kid for that job interview, and I definitely take that kid so she can go take a nap. Because then she's not in jail, the child is okay, and everybody lives happily ever after. What has happened in society that we don't even have community like that no more? That was
Melissa, because the mothers are not the same. The mothers are not the mothers. The neighbors are not the neighbors we had. The village is not the village we had. The community is not the community we had.
You're right.
Listen, I was a teen mom.
Same.
Baby, praise God for my mother. Thank you, Jesus. Because I know, Melissa, ain't no coulda, woulda, shoulda. I know I could not have done it without her.
Yep.
I could not have.
Yep. Same. I was a teen mom also, not a young teen, but I still was a teen.
Right.
I got pregnant my senior year in high school.
Yes.
And that's why I don't frown my nose on anybody in that regard. And my heart is for women that are single moms, because I know it's not easy, but I always think about the community that I had. I had community. If I just wanted to
didn't we though, girl? Didn't we? Listen, it wasn't even an option. My mother was, you're gonna finish your senior year, you're gonna go to at least a community college if you don't go away, but you're gonna do this. This is what you're gonna do.
Yep. You're gonna do it. But nowadays, like you said, on one hand, the mothers aren't the same, because you can't tell nobody anything. Can't tell.
And let's just be real. Some of these mamas is trifling. Let's just be real.
Period. This a whole nother live, but you seen the one video of the man twerking with his little, she looks about 6. And unfortunately, her face is right at his crotch. And he is slow grinding on her, and she twerking with them. And they went viral. I want to say, I don't know if it was a shade room. I don't know who posted it. But I try to shy away from stories like that because I'm very triggered when it like it. So they got the backlash. They came back and did another dance or whatever, and she just twerking on the dad. And the mom is the one that's filming it.
It's ridiculous. I saw one where the little boy was filming his mom twerking. He got to be about 8 or 9.
I've seen
the mama just she was in her maybe 20s, 30s, and then the one where the mama in the car with the little one and he cursing her out like a sailor, calling all. Listen, Linda, listen.
I'm telling
you, like I said, these mamas ain't the same.
No, they're not the same. They're not the same. They're not the same. And then when you think about it, some of the grandmothers aren't the same.
That part,
because a lot of them they don't even want to be called grandma.
Right.
You got to call me soda pop, anything. Just don't call me grandma. And it's like that title is such a blessing to be able to reach to the point where you see your children have children and you trying not to even be that. I mean,
absolutely. Not only the grandmamas, the big mamas, the muddias. See, I grew up with the muddias and the big mamas, and and they were the matriarch of the families where they ruled down from the top women on down.
Yes,
and the
they
men
did.
were the patriarch that ruled down from the men on down. That's the era I come out of. And we don't
That's
have
right.
that in these spaces anymore and in our homes and communities
Yep.
anymore. There's no more neighborhood watch. There's no more community watch. There's no more
Every man for himself.
you know, look out for your neighbor. You know, I knew when my neighbors was going out of town, folks would
Yep.
watch their house while they were gone out of town. Like, it's none of that no more.
Yeah. We have that where we are. And of course, we have the Facebook groups and hey, anybody look out for this, that whole thing. We do have that, but that's very rare. Pretty much, generally speaking, as a society, it's every man for themselves. Don't say nothing to my child. Don't say nothing to me. Mind your own business and give me whatever I want from you. Point blank, period.
That part
So,
is
speaking
no
of
sense of
community,
community at all. Yeah, the sense of community is gone. I grew up in an era where men protected the women, protected the children in the neighborhood. You know, we resolved our issues within our own communities before the police was called. You know what I mean? A lot of times, Mr. Johnson was the police officers that stayed 3 houses down or on the next block, whatever. It's just not the same anymore.
It's not. It's not. And it's so divisive. You know, the conversation is divisive. So, you know, a lot of people, when I'm in these YouTube spaces and I'm on these panels and I'm listening in the chat and everything, the bottom line is it's like, oh, what happened to this? What happened to that? It was the breakdown of the family, point blank, period.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Absolutely.
We don't have a sense of community because we don't have a sense of family as a whole.
Exactly. It's every man for himself and God for us all.
Period.
That's
and
what
so
that is.
I listen to the conversations, but I'm like, y'all, you're missing it, because that's the difference between us and some of the other cultures. They can go through whatever it is they're going through, but at the end of the day, they don't lose their identity and their familiar, their community ties.
Melissa, this is the question for me, right? With us, like, because I look back, you know, and I know how I was raised, what I call those OGs of the neighborhoods or whatever you want to call it. And I say, you know, I was blessed to have that. But I sometimes feel like, did we go wrong as the, like, you know, like, where did, other than, of course, the family breakdown, the community breakdown, but like
social media. I think social media is a huge proponent of the breakdown of America, but definitely the African American community. Absolutely. Because
the change in the music, the change in television, reality TV,
media, all of that. Media's, and good point. Reality TV came in, and we have these women in Atlanta, or hip hop here, or Tyra
New
Banks
York,
there,
or LA, or Miami.
Exactly. And Tyra Banks with the modeling, and everything was cookie cutter, cute, designer, put together. Think about it. What families do we see that lasted on reality TV that was healthy? You know, like T.S. Madison is fighting, from what I understand, to kind of compete to earn the same amount of money for her reality television show, because she's like, look at the Christies. I think, the Christies.
Right.
And she was like, just because I'm Black and just because you paying them folks down in Atlanta to act the fool, I'm not going to act the fool. That's not where I come from. And I see the point that she was making, where it's like, you know, I even think about Nene and all of them, and just when they go out and have girls' nights, and I'd be sitting there like, what kind of friends? Like, how old are y'all? What kind of girls' night are y'all having? Every time y'all got to sit at this table.
To that mess. I don't subscribe to that. That's a hot mess. And it's sad that we have made, you know, reality stars like that very wealthy by saying it's okay for Black women to demean themselves, to degrade themselves, to humiliate themselves, and get paid lots of money to do it. It's
lot
sad.
of money. A lot of money. So I think the breakdown, we're chasing money. We're chasing the bag by any means necessary. And so what happens is every other community you know, they go crazy only but so much before their parents, their grandparents and everybody pull their coattails and say, that's not how we act. Get it together.
Yeah, because remember, we come up off of looking at the Cosbys and A Different World and things like that. Like, what happened? Like, where's that at? Because that set the standard and the tone for us to give us the drive to say it is possible. We can do it. We are doing it.
We are doing it. Our age group is doing it. Yeah. But I want to submit. Oh, do I want to say 45 and below, or do I want to say 40 and below?
Mm-hmm.
Or definitely 40 and below. They on some other stuff.
Yeah.
They are on some other stuff. They can't even, and when I think about it, because like you said, I think about, and I have the conversation where it's like, yeah, of course we wore the short shorts and this, that, and the other, but we dared not wear that stuff around our grandparents and our parents and all of that. Like, there's just no boundaries. These people have
girl, I used to leave my mama door going out in one outfit and have the other one in the bag, change in the bathroom at the club when I get to
at the club, and you old enough club age, but they don't understand that. They don't understand that. And the reason why is some of their parents are still trying to be young and do all this. And there's nothing wrong with youthfulness, because I mean, I'm the poster child, one of them. I mean, black don't crack. We doing what we do. But at the same time, I realize I'm a mother. I realize that I have young ladies that are looking up to me. I have young men that are looking up to me. I have a whole husband. So I'm not going to be on here. Like you see.
And we not 21 no more. Heck, we ain't even 31 no more.
Listen, but I am not 31 years old. I leave all that to the 31-year-olds.
Exactly. Look, when I finally did have enough nerve to wear a mini dress to go when I was going out in my little heels, you know, one time, and I'm getting dressed at my mom's house. I think I probably was about 25 then, but I was getting dressed at my mom's house. My girlfriend come pick me up, and I was just pulling down on the dress, pulling. And my mama said, listen, if you got to keep pulling down on a dress to sit down, to get up, it's too small. It's too short.
It's too short. Go change.
That was my wake up. My reality is like, okay, what are we doing here?
But then to your point, who's telling these girls that? The one time Monique came out and said, do your hair, do not be at the airport down
in no bonnet
with the bonnet.
And look at the backlash. Yeah.
Girl, I was with her 100%. I didn't care. I said she is right. And I said it on this platform. I said, she's right.
Yeah. And I love the fact that she didn't back down when she got all the backlash. Double down on it. I say, I'm with you, sis. I'm with you.
Came back with a different video and was like, listen, I said what I said. And so that is, I think that's what it is. I think media, social media and media. So let's just say media as a whole just really changed the atmosphere, because then by that time we talked about this. Well, I was in the chat. With Uncle Stu's panel, when he was talking about the church, because while we as families were doing what we were doing, the church was chasing. So while the world was chasing social media, the church was chasing prosperity and prosperity preaching. So then they got distracted.
Yeah,
and
they got distracted in the money.
Yep,
they got distracted in the politics.
Yep,
they got distracted in the cliques.
Oh,
I can go on and on with the black church, honey.
The cliques are terrible. The cliques are terrible. It's terrible. And yes, I can go on and on as far as that's concerned. But yeah, that's what I think the breakdown was. And so that kind of goes with the next question that we can come up with. You have some people that are just, of course, anti-polygamy and stuff like that. But then you have some people that have the argument that it will help build our community back if more of us subscribe to that. Me, I'm not built like that. That's some built for tough stuff. That's not me.
I would agree. But you're right. And believe it or not, it's growing more and more in the Black community. I have a lot of associates and friends that dabble in that do that. But what I've experienced, and that's before I left Nevada, Nevada is a whole nother entity when it comes to certain
Listen,
sexual lifestyles and alternative lifestyles. I'll
understand.
just say that.
I understand.
Our people are definitely growing in numbers
We're
when it comes to
exploring.
that.
We're exploring for sure.
But the all the ones that I am familiar with and know about that are associates and people that I know, girl, they all a hot mess. It's a hot mess.
I knew you were going to say that, and I wanted you to finish it because all the ones that I know, it's cute in the beginning and it's hot in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden they going live and cussing this one out. It's a hot mess.
Hot mess. And let me tell you. So I'm gonna give you a couple scenarios. One particular one I know, when they invited that into the man, they invited a woman and then they was gonna invite more women, but they couldn't even get past the first woman because the vows or understanding that they had, they got broken. And then the man started dipping off with the other woman more than he did his own wife. And then you cannot sit and tell me that feelings, jealousy, envy, and all of that is not going to come into play at some point.
Right.
Here's another scenario. They supposed to have this code, but they never stay on the code, right?
Okay.
So now you got all of them going around in circles, doing a bunch of things to each other. And like you said, and now they all stabbing at each other in the back. Another situation was brought in where a woman was brought into the situation to help build the tribe. Then the two women end up falling in love and wanting to lead a man.
Yes, that's
inside of life. I mean, it just causes so I can go on and on, girl.
It be raggedy. Trust me, I know. It sounds like we know the same people. I know we don't, but I'm just saying that's how common the problems are, and that's how raggedy it be because, and then some will argue, okay, it's easier because now you're seeing it where the woman has two men or whatever. She has her boyfriend and her husband, and I'm just like, that's just not going to work. Now, from a practical sense, absolutely, I can see how that works. You got more hands. You got the person that like to cook. But that's not reality. The truth of the matter is, you're not going to invite 3 other women in your home and say, okay, you just going to be the cook. Don't touch and look at my husband. You're going to be the extra person with the kids, but come to me first because they're my kids. And then don't look at my husband. Like that's not realistic, And I think a lot of times that may be what some of the women, when they go into it, they don't realize it's a gateway to other foolishness.
Yeah, opening up a whole lot of Pandora boxes when you invite that into your, especially a marriage, or a close-knit relationship where the man and woman is living together. The biggest story that came out of Vegas, it was probably when I first moved there, like about 13, 14 years ago. The biggest story came out of that, and it wasn't polygamy, but it was a swinging situation.
Yes. Uh-huh.
You have a husband and a wife, right? And they're living a good life. These were a wealthy couple, and the wife was boring. She didn't have to work, so the man wants to introduce that lifestyle, right? And the woman, she fought it as long as she could. Well, she didn't want to do it. They started. Anyway, she went on and she finally started that lifestyle. Now she's engaging in a lifestyle when the husband is nowhere around. When he's at work, going on trips, she's going to the swinging clubs. Now, these are true stories.
I know.
This was all on the news and everything. She's going to, and now the man finds out that it's this one particular guy she goes to see all the time. He's livid. He's filled with jealousy, rage, envy, and all of that. Do you know he went into that club and deleted almost everybody in that club one day when he snapped?
See? Yeah. Like I said, I believe it because I see the stories. I mean, think about it. What's the one he in Nevada? The one that's on TV. They broke up.
Which one?
The Browns, Sister Wives.
Oh yeah. I'm listen, and it ain't all peachy keen like they tried to make it seem when they was on TV.
No, it's not all peachy keen. No, like I said, in the practical sense, no, woman in our society. Now, don't get me wrong. I know in other societies, you know, Eastern, Western, I don't know which hemisphere, but that is a common practice. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in America, very few families can make that work. Very
Absolutely.
few families.
Especially African American.
Please.
And let's just be real.
Yeah.
Because you know we are different breed. We got attitudes.
We're a whole totally different breed.
We get all in our feelings when stuff ain't going our way.
Listen, attitude. I can't do it. So that's that on that. Because I'm already like, nope.
And facts, I'm not finna share my spouse with no one. Period, no one. Point blank, and the explanation point.
Period. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll get a housekeeper, I'll get a nanny, but even with that, I'm looking like, okay, if he there, and I'm not leaving my housekeeper with my husband.
Listen,
coming or whatever,
that part.
What day she coming? Okay, well, I'll be here too.
Monique says she could, if I, and when I do get one, she gonna be a 1-2 bug 2 bald head.
Exactly.
Gonna be the ugly.
Period.
The ugliest housekeeper you ever did see.
Period. Let me share this last one for debate. They just letting us talk. I love it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. If you sitting here and you're catching the replay, hey y'all, come on in, leave a comment. This is our last one if I can find it. Nope, I can't find it. Let me see. So I don't know if you saw this one. Did you see the one where it was on the shade room? Let me see if I can find it. Basically, the kids are in pajamas. Oh, but I want to give y'all a visual, and I don't know why I can't find it. Let's see. Share. The kids are in pajamas. They're at, for lack of a better term, they're at their step parents. The stepmom bought, how did she do? The stepmom bought all the kids Christmas pajamas, except the kid that he has with the other lady. And she was wondering, let me see. It says, a friend of mine is married. Oh, it wasn't the stepmother. Okay, here it is. A friend of mine is married. Mother-in-law bought matching PJs for all the kids except the one that doesn't belong to her son. Is she wrong? I said, let me find a picture. You copying?
Interesting.
Right.
I am, because listen, I have a step granddaughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that it depends on the situation and the person, because whereas to I may do something that other grandmother may not.
Okay.
So, you know, or I may not do something and that other grandmother may. I'm actually in that type of scenario now with the other grandmother. Like my son's ex-wife had a daughter when they met. I mean, when they married. And
here's the picture right here. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So what you're saying, okay, so as a mother, okay, so I'm the mother-in-law. If my son or my kids marry somebody with a child, I'll put it on me. My husband married me. I had a son. If my mother-in-law bought anything or secluded my other children, my son, from his biological children, we have a problem.
I know what you're saying.
He would definitely.
So what if you? Let me ask you this. So what if you tell that person that, and they say, well, that's not my grandchild, and I do this for my grandchild. Are you going to deprive your children that she's the grandmother of yes. what she gives them to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you exactly because that had something very similar, not to this extreme. And my husband put all of them in their place, and because they I can't remember. This was so long ago because we were so young. And they would make little cheap shots or whatever, you know, this is my first grandbaby and this and that. And that's fine. I wasn't too sensitive about the whole, this is my first grandbaby type thing. But you're not coming. My husband just didn't play that, because the other caveat to that is this. We are also adoptive parents. We only you would only know that if we told you that. But if you spent any time with our family, you would never know. I mean, obviously looking at her, you'd be like, oh, she's adopted. But the way I got her from birth. She was an hour old when we got her. And so that's my child. But if anybody, and we were in this situation with my son, as well as people feeling like they wanted to seclude her as well. So my husband didn't play that at all with his family at all. And it wasn't all of them, because if my moderator is in here, I'm not talking about you, child, because you didn't trip like that. But absolutely, we've left family functions or Christmas or whatever. Now here's the thing.
Yeah, that has happened in my family as well. That has been a conversation with the grandmothers that are involved with our grandbabies, right? And
kids, that's so sad.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, because if the children end up the ones that can possibly be hurt in that situation. But that was a main reason why that I chose when I was already deciding to no longer celebrate holidays. And this was Melissa, this was a really big issue in my family with my grandchildren, with each one of their mothers, and grandmother situation. So I made it even out of the board. I said, how about I'm not celebrating any holidays no more, so nobody have to worry about me getting them anything on Christmas. I will give them when I choose to give them.
Period. Okay, so help me understand. Period. You're the grandparent. Your child has, just for the sake of understanding, your son has a stepchild, but no biological children.
No, he has a stepchild and he has a stepchild and my oldest grandchild by his former ex-wife. Then he has more children that are my grandchildren by his now fiance. So that is 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6 sets of grandparents.
Okay. And so what you're saying is you would give to that last set and the older, and not necessarily the step. Give me an example if you can. Okay,
so my latter grandchildren, which is my now son's fiance's grandmother, their grandmother on the mother side, she don't do that for the other grandchildren. She only do it for the ones that's hers. So now,
so it's not you. Okay.
Yeah,
so it's not you.
No. So
I thought it was you. Okay.
No. Listen, where the issue came in with me, when I tell you, girl, it was huge. So I was already leaning towards not celebrating the holidays. This just helped me solidify it, because I'm not finna argue with the parents and I'm not finna argue with the grandparents. So I just cut mine off, period, with everybody, and choose to give and spend my money when and with who I want to.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So that was the issue with the other grandmother, right? That I would have, I wouldn't have them directly with her because we never spoke, but I would always speak to my son about it. And then he would go to his fiance. It was just a mess, girl. And I would say, this is not fair around the board. And then it was the other side of my firstborn grandbaby. And then my step grandbaby. It was just a mess.
Okay, so because here's what tell me if I'm wrong. What you're saying is, if so my son has a kid. Let's say my son has a kid, and I just spoil the kid, and I just do stuff, whatever. You didn't have a problem doing that. It was the other grandparents that were hating, basically, and going, why does she always buy XYZ?
Yeah. Or they were comparing how much I spent on one that I might have spent a little less on. Like, girl, was petty.
And you didn't do it intentionally. It was just
it was based off of what the grandchild
and got you.
It was great. It was based off of what the grandchild told me they wanted. So if they said they wanted an Xbox and the other one only said they wanted may have just only wanted a pair of boots, then which one costs more money?
Exactly.
So then now I'm getting,
I
girl,
got
listen, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm getting it from the parents. I'm getting it. Then I'm going in, having indirect conversations with the grandparents. And I say, you know what? How about I cut all y'all off and I just spend my money on y'all when I want to spend my money on y'all. Don't give me no gifts, and I won't give y'all none on the holidays. Now I will do birthdays, and I would do individually when I want to, but I'm not gonna fall into y'all commercialism. Or she spent this much on this grandchild, but only got that girl by. I ain't finna.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I don't think that's the case here. If all the grandkids came to my house and we're gonna do photos and we're gonna do whatever, I'm not going to not get that kid pajamas. I don't know why. And I don't think that's what you're saying.
Oh, no, absolutely not. No.
This kid in this photo with his siblings, because those are his siblings.
Yes.
And then she didn't have the decency to not put him in the picture. Yeah, that's
exactly.
And you know what I said? This is what I said. And because, like I said, this is definitely something that we kind of.
But this is the scenario that one of the grandmothers would do. The same thing by the rest of her grandchildren by blood, but wouldn't do the other grandchild.
My kids wouldn't be at her house.
You see what I'm saying? But see, this is the stuff that is allowed that I'm indirectly having a conversation with. Yeah. Like, no, where they do that at?
Yeah. I'm following you now because and that's exact. My first initial reaction was, because I know my husband. If we were at home and our kids were over to the in-laws' house and she posted that picture or sent it through the group chat, we'd be in the car on our way to pick up our kids. First of all, so that was my first reaction. And then the second thing that I said was, this wasn't the first time she did that. Those kids are old enough. She was tripping before. So my kids wouldn't even been over there without me. That's that part. But this could have been avoided all with communication. Even with what you're saying is communication. Let's see. Hubby says, no one ever thinks how things like this affects the kids.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that I say. But when you do comparisons, how much when you spend on one gift and the other, or what you bought the other, you didn't buy the other, it just became.
No, I understand. That would be stressful. That would be stressful. I can't do it. Yeah, like you said, because now you in my pockets, first of all. Second of all, your kids write a list and the kids say, because again, the 4-year-old's gonna say, I want an Elmo, I want Beyblades. Okay, that's $4 here, $12 here, whatever. Of course, the 8, 9, 10-year-old's gonna say, I want AirPods, I want Xbox, I want this. Me as the parent, first of all, I don't put that type of pressure on my mother.
Melissa, I done so far removed myself off of that since I don't celebrate holidays no more. Let me tell you what the other grandparents are doing. They are now competing at who spends the most money, who buys the biggest gift. Now you tell me that ain't pick. I'm out of that. I'm all the way out.
I can see why you stepped out of that. And I think just thinking about how we do with my mother, listen, she says, okay, what does their list look like? This is what their list looked like. This was when they were little, and we would communicate whatever. But of course, to me, whatever anyone got for our kids, we just be grateful and move on. Like, I'm never calling and if they didn't give them anything, I'm still not going to have an attitude about that.
Exactly.
So, no, I'm with you.
Oh yeah, that would be the case too. If they didn't get nothing, you would hear about it.
People crazy. Oh, okay. So that goes to our next story. Oh, we got to get to this one. So we agree that number one, like I said, my husband and I, first of all, I don't think this is the first time that she was petty. So our kids wouldn't have been over there without us in the first place. And the minute she started acting crazy, we would pick up and go. That's just what we do. Second of all, let's just say from some stretch of the imagination, the kids were over there and she sent us that picture. We're going to pick up our kids. That's wrong. No, that poor baby sitting there looking like that. Okay, I got one more before we go, because I'm supposed to go to the darn gym. Speaking of entitlement and people having attitudes, did you hear about? Let me share this one. Did you hear about the lady who she's viral because she says, listen, when you invite one of my kids to a birthday party, we're all showing up. She's a mom of 5. She sparked a debate after saying she brings the whole family to birthday parties. You get all of us. Do you agree or disagree?
Okay, so now, so it's a birthday party for a child, and you're saying that only one of their children was invited?
Yes.
Well, if the children are different ages, like, don't you go by that with birthday parties? Say, for instance, if there's a 10-year-old celebrating a 10-year-old, would you let a 5-year-old go to a 10-year-old party?
I wouldn't, but she said her whole entire family is going. Get over it. So, perfect example. I don't agree with this. So let's just start.
Yeah, because that's what I'm getting ready to say. Because I mean, if you have children that are years apart and they have a friend that has a birthday party, and you let the child that's close around to that age go to that birthday party. You don't let a 5-year-old. Well, at least I wouldn't let a 5-year-old go to the birthday party of a 10 or 12-year-old.
But here's the thing that you're missing. Age or not, he wasn't invited. The rest of her 4 kids were not invited. And so you don't get to go. Now, here's the other caveat. We have 2 16-year-olds. Our kids are 7 months apart. The last 2. They have the same friend group. They have the same everything. They're in the same grade, everything. Sometimes she's invited places that the whole friend group, they don't want him to go, or vice versa. And I don't be like, why didn't you invite Chantel? Or why didn't you invite, like, I don't do that. Like, no, they invited just her. Or so what this lady is saying is, if you send home an invite, my kid is in 2nd grade. Looking at the ages of her kids, she looks like that they're 4, 6, 7, 8, and a newborn. So what she's saying is, the 4-year-old came home with a invitation to a birthday party at Susie's house, and it's a clown birthday party, and it's for the little girl alone. What the lady's saying is, thank you for inviting just her, but her siblings will join the party.
No, I don't agree with that.
That is so rude.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Because if it's a 5-year-old who's been invited to a party of another 5-year-old, and that 5-year-old goes to school with or knows that 5-year-old or plays with that 5-year-old, why would the other siblings need to go? I don't get that part.
And you keep mentioning age, but again, like I said, I know from personally. So for an example, if I had a close friend and they only invited, and they have mixed boys and girls, and they're the same age as my 2 16-year-olds, and they're like, I think I would ask for an explanation if they only wanted.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying now.
You got it now.
So say if you had 2 16-year-old twins, one's a boy, one's a girl, or whatever, and only one got invited.
Right.
So you saying you would ask, why isn't the other one invited? Because they all are friends. They all the same age group, and they all run in the same circle.
No, now that has actually happened to us. That is my scenario with our younger 2. What I'm saying is, we let her go, even though and I asked him, I said, well, why weren't you invited? He'd be like, I don't know. They just, because they want to go to the movies or whatever. Sometimes they all go, because I think they understand, because they are so close in age, and the people do see them as, people really do think they're twins. So they go with their friends, even though they have the same friend group. So today after school, they all ended up in the same place, but he went first to play volleyball with them. She drove and met them or whatever. So in other words, I'm not going to say, well, you know what? Why did Karen just invite you she's also friends with him. He needs to go too. I don't do that. But what I was saying as far as asking was the only reason why I would feel a little bit like, okay, what was that about? Let's say my neighbor, we're neighbors. We all hang out together. We pool party, da 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 da. Oh, we're gonna have movie night, and we only want the boy to come over. But everybody is a friend group. He's not just going over by himself. To me, that's a little different. Because I want to, like, why you just think like this is like a specific, why are you guys hanging out at the house? I think I'd kind of ask, because then now I'm like, okay, we're a whole friend group, I think is what I'm saying.
So, okay. I get what you're saying. So would you ask your child, like, do you feel a way because
I did.
So-and-so is going and so on, and you didn't get invited? So what if your child felt bad about not being invited? What would you do in that scenario?
I have asked him, and my kids kind of like have my attitude with like, oh, I don't know, I don't care. So because like I said, they pretty much, they're Irish twins. Like literally, people think that they're twins. But anyway, same friend group or whatever. But the friend group, it's really weird because sometimes she'll go with the group and they'll go see a movie, and then he'll be like, they didn't invite me. I don't know why. They just wanted to go bowling or whatever. And then sometimes she doesn't go, and then he goes and hangs out with them. But if it's someone's birthday party in the whole friend group, they do go together, right? Because they're friends with the entire group. But I
would be okay with that if I knew my child was okay with it. But I wouldn't. If my child felt left out, felt uncomfortable, and was sad about it, or felt the way, then that will be a discussion that I would have with like the group's parents or something, like, because it's based off of who invites them, right?
Yes.
In that scenario. Now there are situations where, right. Yeah. And now there's different scenarios is where if all of the girls are in that group is doing something particular, then it's just all girls. Or if all the boys are doing something in particular, then it's just all boys. I get that. But I get what you're saying.
And that's what makes it weird. It is a mixed group. It's boys and girls. So the first time, but you also got to understand these are high schoolers. So the first time the group, and this is someone that he plays on the game with all the time or whatever. And the first time it happened, it doesn't happen often, but it did happen. And the first time he was like, oh, she was like, yeah, me, so-and-so and so-and-so, we're going to go to the movies. And I was like, so is your brother going? No. So I went to him and I was like, they're going to the movies. He was like, oh yeah. And he was like, they didn't invite me or whatever. I think that I understand what you're saying as far as being left out and all of that. But I also asked him, he didn't seem bothered. He thought it was strange, but he didn't seem bothered by it. He went on about his day or whatever. And again, he's done it to her with the same friend group.
Right. Right.
So I think it's important for both of them to know that they can have social lives outside of each other, first of all.
Yes.
I think it's also important for them to understand that they're not going to be invited everywhere all the time.
That part.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't take it any further to tell her, well, you're not going to go because you didn't ask your brother. Now, here's the thing. When it happened, I had to tell myself, and I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. My kids are not who I was at their age. My first thought was, what the hell y'all trying to get into that you don't want the other one to know about? And so, but these are beyond honor roll students. They don't give their parents, like, everybody's grades are crazy good, track stars, all this other stuff. So I had to talk myself down, like, okay, what is she trying to, and but I think there's a social aspect, even with this lady right here. She's not allowing her kids, to feel left out and process through that. What does that look like? Because you have adults that have huge problems with being left out. And the other part is, I think it's a sense of entitlement. We didn't invite. I didn't plan for your 3 other kids. I didn't have gift bags for your, and you don't even care.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with I don't agree with her perspective. So I definitely disagree with that.
And it's the
In
attitude
that
because,
content, absolutely not.
yeah, and
Well,
it's the
then
attitude.
how about this? How about none of your kids come? How about that?
Exactly. That's
None of
what
y'all
somebody in the
come.
chat said. Somebody in the chat said that. They were like, how about nobody come? And it's her
Exactly.
attitude. It's her attitude because she's quoted in the article like, you gonna get all of us. What? Oh no. No. Mm-mm.
No, I don't agree with that either.
I
Yeah,
don't agree with that. And then like, even if it's a family party, because I'm going through all the scenarios in my head. If I've called my cousin who has littles, and I said, "Can someone?" She's got 4 kids, and I said, "Can I have the oldest? We're playing, we're cleaning out the garage, we're whatever, we're baking cookies or whatever." She let me have the 1 kid. And she didn't even say like, "Oh, but why don't you want all of them?" or "Why don't you want whatever?" So I think it's a healthy rejection can be very healthy, but I don't even think it should be looked like rejection. They're just not invited.
Right. Right. I agree. I mean, I get it.
Yeah. I'm
But
just working through it and processing it because when I first pulled this article, I didn't think about how even my own kids we're in this scenario. And because you do have some families that think all the kids got to move in unison. They all got to play the same sports. They all got to do the same thing.
right.
They all got to be invited or else, or whatever. And apparently this is the way this woman thinks.
And just imagine if she think that way on that scale, imagine how some other ways she think on another scale with concerning her entire family. You know what I mean? So
I'm laughing because in my head, I'm thinking she's that parent in school when the kid is up singing a solo or doing the choir. She just lets her kid roams and gets on the stage and do stuff because she thinks it's cute. No boundaries. Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
there are certain things, even when you in your own household raising your kids, where especially when you have different genders, there's certain boundaries, there's certain respects, there are certain conversations, there are certain scenarios where it's just different.
Because I think it's not reality. And I know my husband and we have done this. Now, not talking about their basic needs, but if we just take one out, our kids are okay with only one person getting a pair of shoes. It's not your turn today. Or
Right.
the next time we go out, everybody gets shoes. Or you're getting shoes, but when we go to this next store, we're going to get you a hoodie or whatever. And so we don't have Sour Patch Kids. And I think that's what she's raising. She's raising us some children that will have a sense of entitlement because, again, every time we left the house, we didn't bring something home for everybody. Sometimes I might have saw a candy bar and just brought it from the one kid. But you know what that taught him to do? Share with his siblings.
Now I'm looking at this picture, Melissa, and they seem to be a type, right? A family. Just looking at them, the way they dress, I would, if I had to just guess and take maybe 3 guesses, I would say they were either number 1, Jehovah's Witnesses, number 2, maybe of the Mormon faith.
Yep, I'm looking.
Or number 3, maybe somewhere close to around some other type of a cult type of religion. That's just my perspective.
Yeah. It says point of view, when you invite one of my children to a birthday party, she wrote over the video, you invite one child, you get all of us. Don't worry, we bring awesome gifts. I don't care about your gifts. I don't care about your gifts because sometimes, even with our kids being close in age, like you mentioned, it might be a girl party.
Yeah.
Or it might be, so we separate it. And even if so a lot of times if people in the case of our kids, if they knew the whole friend group and they all are going to iFly or they're all going to ice skating, They definitely invited both of them. They were, typically speaking, very few parties were they invited to where the other one wasn't invited unless it was a class party. You know, somebody that they were actually in class with, and I don't know Jason. So guess what? She ain't going to the party. But I think that these, you know, it's the entitlement for me.
Well, I guess I got to scratch my first guess because we talking about birthday parties. So Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays, so they wouldn't be Jehovah's Witnesses. So I just thought about that. I'm like, let me scratch my number one guess first.
Yeah, it's just it's very much given entitlement, and I'm like, sis, let me see. But I feel you on that. I was thinking the weird.
Does it say where they from, what state, or where they from? It doesn't say that, huh?
South Carolina. Which is weird because that's not a heavy Mormon state. I don't think.
Exactly. Yeah. Had you said Nevada, Utah, Arizona, or somewhere like that, I'll say, oh yeah, possibly. But it doesn't mean that it's not, you know.
So this is one of the people that commented. They said, no, that's so rude to me. If my child is friends with your child through school, church, sports, what have you, and invites them to their birthday party, that doesn't mean my child is inviting your other children. That seems just very intrusive and entitled, one person commented.
Yep, that's very true.
Someone said, haha, I had no idea this was a thing. But if I was a parent and all the siblings showed up, as long as they were well behaved and polite, I'd be so surprised, but really happy they came too. The more the merrier. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
She said, so the mom said, she explained that she's team the whole family goes. The whole family goes. My husband works a lot, and most days it's just me and the kids. I always RSVP or ask the parents first. I know that not everyone feels that way, so I always make sure I spend a little bit more on the birthday gift that an average person would make up for. That doesn't make sense. Nah.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, what you want to go for you and yours, are you going to be accepting of other people when they, you know, want it back to them?
Probably. She probably would. Crazy so. She probably would. So
yeah, girl. Listen.
Yeah, now that was an interesting one. I wanted to bring that one up for sure.
But her kids do look pretty much like stair steps, right? Like those four that's standing beside her definitely look like they could be 4, 6, 8, and 10.
Right. But you know what? I was even looking at it. So they have this infant. Somebody gonna say this is weird. But girl, me and you, we didn't have these play dates and all of that foolishness when we had our kids. But for the sake of argument, if I invited her to an infant play date, we both just had babies.
I know where you're going with this.
I'm going to ask her, are you bringing the other children? Because right now it's just about the infants.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And if she say, yeah, I'm going to say, then I'm going to need you to stay home.
Right.
Because I don't have to deal with that.
Exactly. Natasha said that response shows how they operate. It's okay. We bring gifts, just super transactional and obnoxious. Yeah. And entitled and think that, because here's the thing. What if you're like me, where I don't care how expensive your gift is? I'm going to buy my own kids the gift. So it's just very condescending. Like, are you serious? Yeah. So you just think your little gift.
She had make all of us or leave all of us, and she don't know. A lot of people will have no problem with leaving all of y'all.
Sure won't. Not at all.
I know I wouldn't.
I know I wouldn't. We let me see. Oh, I'm at 1 hour and 30 minutes. This was fun. This was absolutely fun. I wanted to take a break from just all the breaking news and everything, and just kind of update and have some of these conversations. I'm gonna be back on my other channel. So y'all, if y'all don't know what my other channel is, I'll have it in the description box. But I'm gonna be doing my makeup and talking about that case with the guy deleting the ex-girlfriend and the ex-wife and himself, and my take on it, and what I'm hearing other people say the blame is, and who I say the blame is. So hopefully you guys can meet me over there at 8.
Oh, that's tonight?
Yep, tonight. Yep,
Oh, okay.
tonight. So I'll leave the link in the description box. And again, I know that it says that I'll be doing my makeup, but there's a reason why. The topic is makeup calms me, and I'll be able to talk through it and just kind of chit chat or whatever. Because it's a sensitive subject.
Well, listen, you're right, and there's so many strong various difference of opinions in these.
Yes, isn't that interesting?
So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting because I'm gonna throw my hat in my hat in the ring and just say what I think. And just to give you guys a little taste of it, I lost a very good friend and her husband through this situation, and they left behind 4 children, four very young children.
Girl, listen, I lost a girlfriend from this, and then I have friends of friends that lost. But my girlfriend was very close, and same thing happened to her with that same situation, and she left a son behind. So yes.
So you understand what I'm saying? So
I do.
So you can understand, number one, why I want to be distracted with putting on makeup and just kind of talking through that. But then also these strong opinions and all of that. You can have a lot of opinions about this, but until it hits in your neighborhood, yeah, okay.
Till it hits home.
So that's where I'm gonna be at in about 3 hours. So meet me over there. I'll drop the link. Hopefully you'll still be awake, and we could talk about it. I will,
girl. I'm a night owl. I'll still be awake. I'm a night owl.
Okay, so hopefully we could talk about it and work through it together and stuff.
Okay. And shout out to your chat, honey, your husband, the moderator, Forge man. Shout out to Big Time Drum talking about I should give me a voice meme that said that part.
That part. Exactly. So y'all, thank y'all for watching. If you're catching the replay, go ahead and comment on these subjects that we were debating about. If you have anything else that you feel like we missed, leave a comment and we'll discuss it on the next live. But I'll be back, like I said, in a couple of hours on my other channel where I will be doing a reaction to that situation. Okay, so hopefully I'll see you guys over there. You'll get me and Patrice's take. You'll get my take from people that have actually lost loved ones in this way.
That's our time, right, Melissa?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. All right, friends. We'll see you. Thanks, Patrice.
All right. Bye. Thank you.